Hi, my name is Elizabeth Ariola, and I will be going over my accumulating learning experience from PMG 593. I will be going over my agenda that will cover the principles of Part 1, 2, and 3, the Code of Ethics, and the continuous improvement in project leadership. For Part 1, PM Principle Stewardship, from the PMI definition, stewardship acts responsibly to carry out activities with integrity, care, and trustworthiness while maintaining compliance with internal and external guidance. They demonstrate a broad commitment to financial, social, and environmental impacts of the projects they support. Stewardship encompasses responsibilities within and external to the organizations, and this includes integrity, care, and trustworthiness and compliance. A holistic view of stewardship considers financial, social, technical, and sustainable environmental awareness. So, before studying this principle, I thought stewardship was simply meant being responsible and doing the right thing. After learning more about the PMI's definition, I have realized that it also includes ethical decision making, responsible resource management, sustainability, and creating long-term value. I can now understand that stewardship is about thinking beyond the immediate project and considering the broader impact of every decision. I demonstrate stewardship every day as my role as UPS package center supervisor. I oversee daily operations. I ensure that stewardship is about thinking beyond an immediate project and considering the broader impact of every decision. I can also apply, or I have also applied stewardship during my coursework with risk register assignments, as I identified potential project risk and I evaluated their likelihood and impact and developed mitigation to strategies to reduce those risks. This assignment taught me that stewardship is about being proactive and protecting project resources before any problem occurs. Another example would be sustainability management plan, where I did a zero waste event project where my goal was to reduce any type of waste from any type of parties or gatherings or events or work meetings where every day tons of food are being thrown. We are just throwing away plastic and not having anything that is healthy for our environment. And my plan was to make reusable forks, cups, or to at least either be reusable or that can decompose for our environment. In this management plan, I have established and created sustainability goals. I established key performance indicators. I established and assigned responsibilities. And I developed a process to monitor the project's environmental and social performance. And this experience reinforced that stewardship is not only about the financials, but it's also about protecting the environment and the social resources while still supporting the long-term project success. So overall, stewardship has taught me that success in project managers have been led with integrity. They make responsible decisions. They manage risk, proactivity, and consider the long-term impact of their actions. So for me, stewardship is closely connected to value as it is responsible to its leaderships and resource management that help the projects to deliver a meaningful and lasting benefit for both the organization and its stakeholder. Our next principle is team. The PMI definition is project teams are made up of individuals who, while diverse skills, knowledge, and experience, project teams that work collaboratively can accomplish a shared objective more effectively and more efficiently than others working on their own. So projects are delivered by project teams. Project teams work within organizations and professional cultures and guidelines, often establishing their own local culture. So they align with other organizational cultures and guidelines. They have individual and team learning and development and optimal contributions to deliver desired outcomes as a team. So before studying this principle, I thought teamwork simply meant people working together and just completing tasks on their own that are assigned. But after reading more and learning more about the PMI's definition, I have realized that successful teams require much more than that. They depend on trust, on open communication. They respect for different perspectives that any of us can have, and a shared commitment to achieve project goals. So this helped me understand that stronger relationships are just as important as individual performance. So I can demonstrate this by my professional experience at UPS, where I am supervising more than 100 employees. I work with package handlers, drivers, dispatch, customer service representatives, and management in order to ensure that packages are processed safely and delivered on time. I assign workloads. I communicate expectations. I answer any questions, and I help resolve conflicts when they arise. I have learned that no one can operate the package center alone. So everything is as a team. Success comes from collaboration, communication, and everyone working together for the same goal at the end of the day. So in my coursework, I have also applied team principles as I have established different team expectations as a team charter. I have defined roles and responsibilities. I've created communication guidelines, and I've developed procedures for decision makings and conflicts resolutions. So along with this, I have also created a communication management plan that identify how projects should be informed and who should it be shared to. And who needs these updates and how often communication would occur. So these assignments reinforce that clear expectations and consistent communication are essential for building an effective project team. So overall, this principle of team has very much has made me seen how and taught me that successful teams don't happen by chance. They are built through planning. They're built through communications and trust and shared accountability. And for me, the team principle is closely connected with leadership, because effective leaders can create an environment where people feel supportive, motivated, and empowered to work together towards a successful project outcome. So along with that, we have our next principle for stakeholders. The PMI definition is to engage stakeholders proactively and to the degree needed to contribute to project success and customer satisfaction. So stakeholders influence project performance and outcomes. So project teams serve other stakeholders by engaging with them. Stakeholders engagement proactively advances value delivery. So before studying this principle, I thought stakeholders were only the people that were directly involved in a project, like the project manager or just the customer. But after learning the real PMI definition, I have realized that stakeholders include anyone that can be influenced by a project or be impacted by any of these results. So, this helped me understand the importance of identifying stakeholders early on, understanding their expectations, and maintaining strong communications throughout the project. So, I can apply stakeholders in my role at UPS as I do work, like I mentioned, with employees, drivers, dispatch, customer service, our third party, which is the customer service. We have our damaged people, our responders, our preload, night shift, every type of different people that I am communicating with every day. And each group has different priorities and expectations. And I communicate with each stakeholders to address any concerns quickly, and I adjust my approach based on their needs. So, building these relationships help me collaborate and keep or operations running effectively and deliver better customer service. I have also demonstrated it throughout my courses here. I can relate stakeholders to stakeholder register and stakeholder engagement plan. So during my courses, I have identified key stakeholders. I've documented their roles, their interests, their influence, and expectations, and evaluate how they could impact the project. Then I've created a stakeholder engagement plan that outlines that communication with one another with strategies based on each stakeholder level or of influence or involvement. And these assignments have actually taught me that successful stakeholder management is mostly about building that relationship and maintaining that communication, and keeping stakeholders engaged throughout the whole process. They should always be involved. So this principle has very much taught me that stakeholder engagement is an ongoing process that has strengthened collaboration, supported better decision making, and improves project success. So for me, this stakeholder principle is closely connected to communication, as it provides the right information to the right people at the right time and builds trust and manages expectations and helps projects achieve success. Moving on to our next principle will be value. The PMI definition is continually evaluate and adjust project alignment to business objectives and intended benefits and value. Value is ultimately indicators of project success. Values can be realized throughout the project, at the end of the project, or after the project is completed. So value and benefits can contribute to value. So it can be defined or not defined. So the way that I have seen and can learn from value, and after studying this principle, I realized that a project is only truly successful if it achieves its intended purpose and provides benefits to the organization and its stakeholders. And this has changed my perspective, as I can now understand that project managers must focus on long-term outcomes, not just project completion. I can relate and demonstrate this value into my professional PM experience by delivering organizational volume at UPS. And I do this by my responsibilities that include assigning workloads, monitoring productivity, resolving operational issues, and coordinating with drivers, dispatch, and managing everything in the operations that can result in smooth results. So I balance workloads and address issues quickly as I can or with a team. I help reduce delays or improve productivity. I provide reliable customer service. And at the end of the day, these decisions create value for both the company, UPS, or the customers that are supporting the operational success and the customer satisfaction. So I have also applied these principles here in as I have done courses. So one would be my PMG 503 with my zero waste event business case, and my PMG 582 where I had worked on my Montefiore pharmacy UAV project. So in these principles that I've developed, so my project charter that I've used in my Montefiore pharmacy UAV project, I developed and implemented, defines the project's objectives, the scopes, deliverables, the risks, and success for the criteria, while still ensuring that the project was aligned with the organizational goal. So instead of focusing only on the project activities, I have identified how the project would improve the prescription delivery services and create a meaningful benefit for stakeholders as they are partnering with the UAV, and the pharmaceuticals are partnering to use drones to deliver these pharmaceuticals. And you have to just identify how the project would improve these delivery methods. So this assignment has actually taught me that creating value begins during project planning, and then it clearly identifies as well with my event business case for my zero waste, where I evaluate project costs, benefits, and risks, and I demonstrated value for stakeholders and the community. So overall, this principle of reinforce that project success is not just about meeting schedule or budget goals, and it's about delivering meaningful results that benefit the organization and its stakeholders. So for me, the value principle is closely connected with stewardship, as responsible decision making and effective resource management helps projects deliver lasting values and achieve long-term success. For our next principle will be system thinking. The PMI definition is to recognize, evaluate, and respond to dynamic circumstances within surroundings of the project within a holistic way to positively affect project performance. A project is a system of independent and interacting domains of activities. Systems thinking entails taking a holistic view of how the projects interact with one another, and also with changing requirements, consistent attention, and interactions that allow project teams to leverage positive outcomes. So before studying this principle, I thought system thinking was simply meant the understanding of different departments that are working together within an organization. But after I've learned more about the definition, I've realized that it's much broader, and it requires looking at projects as one interconnection system where decisions made in one area can affect stakeholders, it can affect resources, schedules, risks, or any communication or project outcomes. And this has really helped me understand the importance of considering the bigger picture before making any decision. So I can apply this to my professional UPS experience, as I coordinate with so many stakeholders, so many professionals every day. And I have to make sure I keep daily operations running smoothly. I know that a decision in one area can impact the entire operation. So, for example, changing employee staffing may improve productivity in one department, but it can also affect the departure times of drivers. It can the package flow, the customer service, and because of this, I need to consider how decisions will affect the entire operation before making any tiny little change. So, in my coursework, I can relate this back to my PMG 582, my Montefiore Pharmacy UAV project, as I created a communication management plan, where I identified stakeholders, communication needs, selected the most appropriate communication methods, and established responsibilities, as well with the work breakdown structure, where I developed the plan. I communicated affects many that across the whole plan, and I included stakeholders engagement, risk management, decision making, and overall project performance. So this assignment really helped me see how strong communication can help keep every part of the project connected and working together. So overall, this has really taught me how project managers must understand how parts of overall project influence one another before making any decision. So system thinking is closely connecting to tailoring, as you have to understand the entire project that allows the managers to adapt to processing communications, or that meet the unique needs of each process in project needing support of the overall success. And here we go on to our next principle, which is leadership, which the PMI definition is to demonstrate and adapt leadership behaviors to support individual and team needs. This is for leaders and different than authorities. Leadership is different than authorities. It affects leaders to adapt to their style to the situation. It affects leaders recognize difference in motivation among projects or team leaders or members. And then leaders demonstrate desired behavior in areas and honest integrity and ethical conduct. Before studying this PMI definition, I've realized that leadership is much broader. It involves creating a supportive environment where people are feeling motivated, empowered, and confident to contribute to the project success. So this changed my perspective, as I can now understand how great leaders focus on developing their teams, not just managing daily tasks. I can relate this to my professional experience, as I am supervising 100 employees a day. I am responsible to including the assigned workloads, monitoring productivity, resolving conflicts, and providing guidance through each shift, which challenges can always arise and always can be different, and as well as staff shortage or unexpected service failures, and I have to assess each different situation, I have to communicate clear expectations with my team and work together to find a solution. So I've learned that effective leadership is about building trust and supporting employees and helping the team achieve the shared goals. As I have also demonstrated leadership throughout my courses, as I did my HS2 strategic recovery plan. I analyzed a large infrastructure project that experienced a lot of scheduling delays, cost overruns, governance issues, and stakeholder concerns, and I had to evaluate from the root, because all these challenges that were developed, I needed to make recommendations to improve these communications, strengthen the stakeholder engagement, and support better decision making. So this assignment showed that leaders must be able to analyze and go back from the beginning to see the complex and gives complex solutions to guide the whole entire the team through uncertainty and keep the project focused on the long-term success. So this has overall taught me to that leadership is not more than just solving problems. It requires trust. You need to communicate a clear vision, You have to have a supporting collaboration with one another, and you have to empower others to be successful. So for me, leadership, this principle is closely connected to team, as it's you need strong leaders to create that environment where people can work together and effectively and achieve success with these project outcomes. And our next principle will be tailoring. And the PMI definition is design the project development approach based on the context of the project, its objectives, and the environment, using just enough process to achieve the desired outcome while maximizing the value, managing cost, and enhancing. So this enhancing speed. So each project is unique. Before studying this principle, I thought that tailoring simply just made making adjustments before when problems came up. Just make a tweak and it'll be solved. So, as learning more with the PMI definition, I've realized that tailoring is a proactive process that begins at the start of a project. It involves selecting the right tools, processes, and strategies based on the project specific needs, rather than just using a one size fits all approach. So I can apply this to my everyday personal work experience, where not 2 days are the same, because there's different package volume, there's staffing levels, the customer demands constantly change. So I have to regularly adjust to these different employee assignments. I need to prioritize workload and reallocate resources to keep operations to run smoothly and effectively. So this experience has taught me that flexibility and adapting to change are essential for achieving project success and outcomes. I can relate this to my coursework, as I have demonstrated it in my P5 impact assessments for my sustainability management plan with my sustainability zero waste event planning, where in the P5 impact I evaluated the project's impact on people, planet, prosperity, and process and products, to identify strategies, and supported the specific sustainability goals of my zero waste event project. I then created the sustainability management plan that customized these goals, and in the key performance indicators, I monitored methods and team responsibilities that helped me align with the project's unique objectives. So these assignments work well together, where assignments need to be reinforced and tailored, meaning selecting the right strategies and performance to measure for each project, instead of just applying them to each approach every time. So overall, this principle has taught me that successful project managers must adapt their approach to fit each project's unique needs. And for me, tailoring is closely connected to system thinking, because the understanding how different parts of project works together, how project managers make informed decisions and adapt processes that support the overall success. Our next principle is quality. The PMI definition is to maintain a focus on quality that produces deliverables that meet project objectives and align to the needs, uses, and acceptance requirements set forth by relevant stakeholders. Project quality entails satisfying stakeholders' expectations and fulfilling project and product requirements. Quality focuses on meeting acceptance criteria and deliverables. Project quality entails ensuring project processes are appropriate, as effective and as possible. So before studying the principle, I believe that quality simply meant producing work with few or no mistakes. After learning about the PMI's definition, I have now realized how quality is much more broader, and it involves continuous monitoring performance, improving processes, and ensuring that the project deliverables meet stakeholders' expectations while creating a value. So, this changed my perspective, as now I can understand that quality is about achieving through ongoing evaluation, not just the final inspection. I have experienced and demonstrated this principle every day at UPS as I monitor daily operations to ensure that packages are processing accurately and employees are following company procedures and customers services or standards are met. When I identify delays or any operational issues, I work with my team to find out what the issue is, and what the cause is, to make improvements before the problem affects the overall performance or the overall operation. So taking this proactive approach helps improve efficiently, maintaining customer satisfaction, and ensuring reliable service. So in my coursework, I have developed my earned value management analysis. During this assignment, I evaluated the project performance using cost and schedule metrics to determine whether the project was meeting its objective. After identifying performance variances, I have recommended corrective actions to improve the project performance to keep the project on task. And this assignment reinforced that monitoring performances throughout the whole project allows managers to identify issues early on and make informed decisions before the quality, cost, or schedule's performance declines. Overall, this principle has taught me that quality is built through continuous monitoring, data driven decision making, and ongoing improvement. So for me, the quality principle is closely connected to value, as it is consistently delivering high quality work increases with stakeholder satisfaction and helps projects achieve meaningful long-term benefits.